Empire, you guys, it's March already. That's insane. But I'm happy because I walked outside and I was like, it's no longer supposed to be cold anymore, right? We're done with cold weather. It's going to stay warm forever. Just kidding. So welcome to March. Thank you for being here tonight. I know it's not always convenient or easy, but you're here and you're growing your businesses. And I appreciate you guys showing up, you know, for 8 years strong. Wednesday nights, my family knows I have a team call. 8 years. And remember, my team call started when it was a phone dial-in system. And there was like 3 coaches on the line. That's all I had. Like, hey, brother. Hey, Kelly King. How are you? Okay, I'm going to act like I know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to have a team call tonight. Tonight's recognition is Kelly's at SC2. All right, next up, that was how this all started, and it is going strong. So thank you for being here. All right, let's go into our March shout outs. We have 8 new coaches. It's only been 3 days in, and we already have 8 new girls on our team. So welcome. I know some of them are on the call tonight, and they are rocking it out. Look, one of them is at the top of the team builder leaderboard. All right. These are our team builders. These are coaches who have brought coaches onto the team in the past 3 days. Ola Jackson with 1 new coach, Laura B with 1 new coach, Christina Dennis 1, myself 1, and the one that I brought on has already brought on 4, and that is Miss Haley. Congratulations, Haley, for leading the board. Next up, we have Success Club. And remember, Success Club, these numbers are clients that we're bringing into our challenge groups, or they can be coaches, but they are based on challenge packs or an HD order. So you get 2 points every time you sell a challenge pack. So that's what these numbers represent. So on the board, we have Charla, Lisa, Laura B. Sorry, we have several Lauras on the team. Holly Garvey, Brooke McCain, Ola Jackson, myself. And then in SC5, the brand new coach, probably going to be a rock star on this team, Haley. Congratulations. It's your night, Haley. Just smile away and wave at the camera. All right, recognition. So every week we like to recognize some awesome girls on our team. And our super servant this past week was Lauren Anderson. And then our top sponsor for the week last week was Ren Mosley. And then our February Success Club leader is our girl, Vanessa. Congratulations, ladies. All right, and then rank advancements in the 3rd business center, 1-star diamond, yours truly. And our new Emerald coach is Heather Miller. Congratulations, Heather. All right. And remember, we just wrapped up our Superstar Squad push, and it was very successful. We had a lot of businesses grow, and these are the girls that held tight for 6 weeks. Their requirement was to bring on 4 new coaches onto their team and hit diamond and hold it for 6 consecutive weeks. And we were part of another elite team. We put in $25 a pot or a person, and whoever was able to hold those requirements got a piece of that $25. And I think they earned $270 a piece. And that is myself, Kelly King, Laura Fadley, Lisa Duran, Vanessa Stike, and Jessica Morris. Congratulations. All right, Nicola, I'm gonna turn it over to you for announcements, girl.
Okay, so March, we have a couple different things that you guys just need to pay attention to. They're going to do a Team Cup Second Chance. This is the first time that they have ever done this. So if you participated in the February Team Cup and missed the Tier 1 or Tier 2 prize, you have a second chance to earn those rewards in March. Now, your points from February do not carry over. So you have to do it from scratch in March to earn those rewards. 30-day Breakaway is being added to BOD on March 22nd. They're going to be $20 off of packs and accessory bundles. And I know this is super excited, but the Salted Caramel Shakeology will launch again on March 23rd. So we'll be having some more marketing things added to Epic Empire to help you guys get the word out about that. And then the My Best Friend or my best fitness friend promotion is happening right now. If you've been waiting to invite a friend to do a Beachbody program with you, or you have new coaches having a hard time getting started on their fitness and coaching journey, this is when you need to pay attention. Every new coach that enrolls between January 1st and March 31st will receive one My BFF promo code in March to share with someone that they want to start their fitness journey with. And it's a $40 off promo. And that is it. That's all I have for tonight.
All right. Very cool. You gonna stop? There we go. Like, where's everybody at? There you are. All right. That's pretty cool. I like that promo. I like the BFF thing. That's a good little spin on it. So tonight we have a really special speaker. We got to hear her very briefly share part of her story on a call. And we were all kind of like, who's this chick? We kind of like the way she's talking. I want to hear more from her. So I quickly sent her a message. I'm like, I need you to speak on my team call. Thank you very much. And we got her slotted in on we get one guest speaker a month. So we're super excited to have our very first March speaker. And, you know, Stephany she says she used to be a full-time corporate escrow officer by day and a diamond coach now. So she is going to share her wisdom and her heart, and maybe some of her story also. And you guys put away distractions. Put away your phones if you can. Put away your kids. I'm just kidding. And let's really focus, take notes. Make sure you story, right? You want to let people know that you are on this coaching journey, that you are here with a group of awesome women. I'm going to mute my line. If you have any questions for Stephany, put them in the chat and we will ask her a Q&A at the end of the call. All right.
Hello, hello. I am going to attempt to share my screen here, so bear with me. Oh, actually, I don't know if I can.
I think Nicola's gonna have to make you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nicole, if you can make me a host, I have some slides for you guys. I'm not always usually a big fan of slides, but I figured sometimes for us visual learners, they're kind of nice to have to look at. So, anyway, my name is Stephany Beck, and I am actually part of Team Wild Rain. So we are a 15-star diamond team. I have been on that team for 4.5 years. So I've been a coach for 4.5 years. And part of my story is a little bit of a delay as a coach. And that was part of what Jitanya was speaking of. She got to hear just a little brief piece of that story, which is what I did to flip that switch and go, okay, enough is enough. I'm ready to actually treat this like a business. So I think I'm good to share now. So let me get my slides. There we go. So I am going to, first of all, just kind of dip. We're going to talk about just flipping our switch to diamond, you guys, because essentially this business is going emerald or going diamond over and over and over again. So regardless of what rank you're at or where you're at right now, whether you're brand new or you're a 9-star or whatever that is, we're going to continue to be going emerald and going diamond and training our coaches to go emerald and go diamond over and over and over again. You guys saw Jitanya, 1-star in her 3rd business center, right? So then once we get to where we want to be in our 1st, we get to have a 2nd and we get to have a 3rd and so on. So we're going to just talk flipping our switch. So a little bit about my story is like I said, I've been a coach for 4.5 years. The way that coaching was brought into my life is a really similar story to probably a lot of your stories. And that is I was going through a really hard time. I was going through, I had 3.5-ish ectopic pregnancies over a 2-year span. And I had finished up surgery of them actually removing my second fallopian tube. And I was devastated. The thing that I thought that I was put on this earth to do, which was to be a mom, felt like it was slipping away from me. And I couldn't see past it. I lived in Southern California with my partner. We lived in this beautiful home on the beach. In my opinion, there isn't a more beautiful place to live. And I literally couldn't get out of bed every day. It got to the point where I was pretending to get up around, I would get up around 3 or 4 in the afternoon and get ready for the day and try to pretend like I had been functioning that day so that my partner didn't know that I was actually just kind of sleeping my life away. And eventually my best friend reached out to me and she said, hey, I am going to do this thing. It's called the Beachbody Challenge. Do you want to do it with me? And I immediately said, no, I'm good, thanks. And went about my day. And then I realized, why did I say no? And why did I say no so quickly? And the reason that I said no was because I didn't trust myself. I just thought it would be another thing that I failed at, another thing that I started that I couldn't finish. And another thing where, you know, you buy the shakes, this was back when we had DVDs and it goes into that cupboard where things go to die. You don't ever use them. They go there and you know, there they sit. So I called my girlfriend back the next day and I said, okay, I'll do it. And she goes, okay. And I said, but I know a little bit about this Beachbody thing, and just let the gal know that I don't want to be talked to about coaching because that's not something I am interested in. And my friend was like, okay, no problem. You know, here's what we're going to do. Here's what you got to buy. You got to buy the Shakeology stuff. It's kind of expensive, but I'm just going to do the whole thing and just do it right. And I'm like, okay, I'm game, you know. I then proceeded to, we were going to do Insanity Max 30. So we started out with Insanity Max 30. That was a 60-day program, super intense. I don't know if any of y'all have done it, probably. It was maybe not necessarily who I would set someone up as a beginner program now that I know better, but I did it, I finished it, a lot of modification. And something happened on that last day of that last workout. And, you know, I signed up 2 weeks before I was headed to Maui. And that was telling to me because normally if I were headed on vacation, I would say, oh, I can't start anything before vacation. I mean, that has to come afterwards, right? So I can just go and indulge and not have any type of responsibility to the health of my body while I'm gone. But I didn't. So I took my DVDs to Maui with me, took my bag of Shakeology to Maui, and I did the thing, and I checked in with my accountability group, which had a total of 4 people in it. And I did the thing. And on that last 60th day, that 60th workout, I laid on my living room floor like I did at the end of every single week of that program. And I bawled my eyes out, and I wasn't injured and I wasn't sad. I was just like so proud of myself that I had finished another week and then eventually finished the whole program. What I also recognized that was going on in my life was I was getting out of bed each day. I was more energized. I wasn't feeling as down. I wasn't so fixated on the recent loss and more fixated on the future. And my life was changing. And the reason my life was changing is because I was moving each day. I was being accountable to somebody else, my friends. I was drinking Shakeology. And naturally, when we start to move our bodies and drink Shakeology and do things a little different, we naturally start to eat a little bit better. That's what our bodies want to do. So inevitably, it changed my life. And I thought, wow, this is super amazing. So I'll give you guys a little backstory of my life. And that is, I am I'm a sober alcoholic. I've been sober for 11 years. And one of the things that I do is I am an active member in Alcoholics Anonymous. And one of the things that is a principle that we follow in there, and that is when we find a solution that works, it is our duty to share it and give it back. And so I took that principle and I went, I think coaching is the same. I think that this is my duty to give it back. So I decided to give it a shot. And I went gung-ho at the beginning. I was very excited. And you know, when you're really excited about something and you don't question, like, I wonder if my post was good, or I wonder if people are judging me, or I wonder if people think this is stupid, because you're just so excited. You're not overthinking it. You're just like, it's just like your favorite pair of designer jeans that you fall in love with. And you're like, oh, my booty looks so good in these. I got to tell my girlfriends about these pants. You know, it's like, you're not thinking about anything except for the excitement. And that's how I started. And I started to move up very quickly in rank. I got right to that edge of diamond, and then I got in my head. And I got in my head and I got discouraged and I got nervous. And I started to lag down, and I started to teach myself and tell myself all the reasons that this could never work. So I've continued to stay coaching, but I haven't really, how many times have you guys heard somebody on a national wake-up call say, I don't know what happened. Something just flipped in me. Something switched. I flipped my switch and I decided to not be afraid anymore. And that is essentially, eventually, 4+ years later, that happened to me. And it's funny, on the last call I did on this same talk, it was like, I'm like, if you guys need to make a hashtag for yourself, like, don't be Stephany. And I don't mean that in a negative way to myself, but don't wait 4 years. Don't wait 4.5 years. All you're doing is robbing yourself of such an incredible opportunity. There's no reason for it. I love this quote by Tony Robbins. You see, in life, lots of people know what to do, but few people actually do what they know. Knowing isn't enough. We have to take action. You guys can imagine, for 4.5 years, I probably have sat on, and that's showing up as an active coach, participating, leading. I've heard all the trainings. I've done all the national wake-up calls. I go to all the team calls. I do all the things. I do the daily personal development. I move my body each day. I drink the Shakeology, all those vitals. But until you start to move and take action, all it does is sit up here. And all it does is sit up here and actually start to chip away at our self-esteem, right? How bad does it feel when you're like, I know this stuff, and I know that I should be doing this. I know I should be getting some invites out today, and you don't. And then it sits and just chips away at you, and you don't feel good about it because you know that you want more. So what I started to do in December was this. I made a commitment, and I made a commitment both to myself and to my coach. I needed to help us get to elite, and the entire team was depending on it. And I made the agreement, and I made the choice and the commitment to myself, and I had 3 months to do it, okay? Well, time goes by and time goes by and time goes by, and we have more days and more days of non-action until I got to 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. And I had to sit down with myself, and I had to get straight, and I had to go, this is it, Steph. This is the time that you make the choice. Are you working this as a business, or are you hanging out with these people that are your friends in your community? And are you just here hanging out, hey, helping, I was like hitting Success Club, but, helping people here and there, but which one is it? Both are okay. Both are okay, but you have to choose. Because what I knew was I wanted to choose the latter. I wanted to choose, I want to grow this business. I know that I have the capability of it. but I had to make that choice. I kept giving myself that out of like, well, I'm hanging out on another team call Thursday night, you know, and it's no, I want to actually, I'm going to do it. And so I sat there and I went, what is holding you back? And my hopes tonight is that I can take you guys around a little bit and talk about these fears a little bit so that you don't have to spend the time as long as I did sitting down trying to recognize what it is that you're afraid of. I'm hoping we can talk through that a little bit, because you know what? I don't really think that the fears in this business are all that different or unique. I think that they're fairly basic, okay? And what we have to always remember is that fear isn't real. It's a false evidence appearing real. It's a cheesy acronym, but it's true. It's a story that we make up in our heads. 90% of the time, it never comes true. So what is it? What are we afraid of? Like, what is it that's actually holding us back? And I'm not talking about like, I'm afraid of success. Well, I mean, are we really afraid of success? Or are we afraid of something that's underneath that? Okay. And so what I want you guys to do, we're back at the beginning of the month again, which I was excited that this calls at the beginning of the month so that you can actually spend some time this week thinking about this instead of hustling for Success Club like we were last week, right? And go, what are they? What are the fears? And get to know them, you guys. Stop letting them have so much power over you. Like, befriend the fears and go, okay, yeah, this is a fear that's happening for me. This is real for me. It feels super real. And I'm just going to get to know it. And I'm going to start to take the power out of it. And so for me, it was some very specific fears. And it was these three right here: fear of failure, fear of success, and fear of no. And so what I had to get comfortable with and start to write and get to know about it was, what is actually underneath that? What do you mean you're afraid of failure? Like, what does failure actually look like for you? You could walk away from this business tomorrow and say, it's not for me. Does that mean you're a failure at it? I don't know. That's up to you. But what I was really afraid of failing at, or what was underneath the failure, was I was really afraid of feeling shame or embarrassment. I was really afraid of feeling embarrassed, failing at this and then being embarrassed and being vulnerable. Because you guys, those are uncomfortable feelings: shame, embarrassment, vulnerability. I've done a lot of Brene Brown's work, and that's what helped me get very familiar with what this stuff feels like. I didn't want to fail. And I don't mean fail by quitting the business. I mean fail by not doing it right, fail by looking like a fool with my invites, fear by all of those things. It wasn't necessarily fear of failing at the business. It was the little intricate pieces that I didn't want to feel embarrassed about. And then the fear of the success. I was kind of teasing about this one, but it is a real one. I do mentor people that say, I'm afraid of success. And I'm like, okay, well, what is that? Like, what really is that? Well, for me, I was actually afraid of not being able to lead other people. What do I do if I pull all these people in? They actually say yes and sign up, and then I have a freaking team. Uh-oh, like, what do I do then? That's what I was really afraid of. I'm not afraid of being successful. Do I want to stand up on the stage and speak one day? Heck yeah, I do. I'm not afraid of that. I'm afraid of actually just not being able to do the job. And then the fear of disappointing people. So desperately afraid of people signing up and not having a great experience. Because we all know that we're kind of just throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. We have these awesome mentors and trainers and teachers that teach us, but at the end of the day, we're kind of like just throwing stuff out there and we're seeing how it goes. And sometimes it's going to stick and sometimes it's not, and that's okay. And what I recognized was, I am going to disappoint people. I am going to have failures at leading people at times. I am going to feel embarrassed sometimes. I'm going to feel vulnerable sometimes. And guess what? I won't die. I'll be okay. The fear of word no. How many of us don't want to hear the word no? I haven't wanted to hear the word no since I was a tiny child. I don't know about y'all, but I've never been a real big fan of the word no. It's not comfortable. But what really is that? Oh, for me, it's like, I don't want to be judged. I don't want to be laughed at. I don't want to send an invite to the cool girl from high school and have her sit and laugh at it and be like, oh my gosh, what is Stephany Beck doing? What a dummy. Well, guess what, you guys? They might. And if they do, they are not my people. I mean, I know who my people are, and I've gotten to learn who my people are. And if they're judging or laughing or think I'm bothering them, they're not your people. So get to know some of your fears, recognize what they really are, and then go under that, like dig under it. What actually does that mean? And then we got to go. We got to go right through it. I wish that I could come on here and be like, oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, I had 2 weeks to hit diamond. I was an emerald coach. I listened to this podcast and boom, it happened. That's not the case. I have yet to have a book, a podcast, or any special trick or PD that has shot me to where I wanted to go. It has taught me things. It has helped me get out of my mind. It has helped me work through that fear process that I just went through with you guys, but it hasn't made me do action. The only person that can do action is us. I want you to think about it as if you're, I don't know about any of you, but I love to jump off high rocks into water. And as I get older, it gets a little bit more scary. So if you climb up to the top and you look down, are you going to stand there and stare down and eventually not be afraid of it? Probably not. It's when you're not afraid anymore that you splash and you hit into that water and you go, oh my gosh, that was so not that bad. I'm going to do it again. And you get out and you climb back up and you jump again. That's how we work through the fears. The only way through them is through them. Like we can't go around them. They're going to happen. We're going to have the fears. And I take those fears as an opportunity today. I take them as an opportunity, as something to go through, because there's something really great on the other side of it. The next thing that I did after talking through the fears with myself was I set that date. I let my coach know. I let my success partner know. They're both pictured here. We set an actual date. I gave my coach permission to text me each day, call me, irritate me. And she knows I don't like to be bothered and held accountable like that. I really don't. And we also happen to be the best of friends. So she knows that about me. And I said, do it, do it. You have my word. I will not be irritated. If I am, ignore me. It's just because I'm tired. Okay. So I made a decision. I committed and put it on the calendar. Write it out. Say it out loud. Talk about it out loud to yourself. Tell your teammates. Tell your coach. Use those people to help hold your feet to the fire. For 4 years, 4.5 years, you guys, I kept whimsically saying, I'm going to be a diamond coach. Oh, I'm going to be a 5-star diamond coach. I'm going to be a 5-star diamond coach by the time I get to Summit. Well, that's awesome. But whimsically putting that out there does not get you there. You have to reverse your goals. Set deadlines for yourself. I didn't want those deadlines. I didn't want the deadlines until I flipped the switch and said, I'm ready for the deadlines. I'm not here to hang out anymore. I'm here to make money. I am here to help people. You guys, it's okay that you are here to build wealth. Like, this is an opportunity for that. It's okay. And how we get there is we get to help people and we get to guide them through the way. And so you make that choice and get your support. Solicit your support. Get them on board with you. Let them know. Your coach can't coach you if they don't know what you're working towards. And the other thing I did was I asked my coach, what are your goals? So if you guys have a team, share your goals with your team too. Because how often are we more likely to keep a promise to somebody else than we are ourselves? As backwards as that is, that's just human nature. So the fact that I knew that I had made that commitment to my coach to help our team, to help her hit her goal, was important to me. And that also helped me hold my feet to the fire. And the next thing I did was I got my family on board. Get your family on board and let the rest go. It's funny, I called my coach at the end right after I hit it, and I said, you should see my house. It's like a tornado went through. Now, granted, you guys, I'm not saying that you have to get to your goal, that your whole life has to fall apart and that you have to have Mount Everest of laundry and, you know, a floor so dirty you won't even go barefoot on. That's where my situation was. But remember, I gave myself 9 days, you know, so it was less than 2 weeks. So the rest had to go. But I do think that there is a certain piece of us, especially busy moms, just busy. You don't even have to be a mom. I'm not a mom. I'm a fur mom. I am super, super busy. I didn't really get into my occupation or anything. I'm a full-time escrow officer still. And I work very, very long hours, and I'm super busy and I'm super mentally drained when I'm not working. But that doesn't mean that my point is sometimes the household chores and the laundry and cleaning the car and organizing closets, sometimes we use those as avoidance tactics, okay? Sometimes we will do all of those things before we will take the time to sit down and actually do some of those income producing activities for our business. Why? Probably because we would go back up a few slides, and it probably has something to do with those fears, right? We're afraid of something, so we're going to avoid it. So when I made that commitment to my coach and my success partner, I also sat down with my life partner and I said, look, I've been working on this goal for 4.5 years. I have 2 weeks. I'm tired of not hitting it, and I'm going to do it. I said, I'm working 12-hour days in the office right now. And when I get home, I'm going to dig right into Beachbody. On my lunch breaks, I'm going to dig right into Beachbody. I'm going to let the house go for a little while. Now, my partner happens to be an extremely, I can't put enough extremely's on there, high producing real estate agent. He has a huge team. He's insane. He works like crazy. So if there's anyone in the world that can understand what I was saying to him by I'm going to let the rest go, it's him. And I said, so because he is so busy all the time, I often pick up the slack around the house with the dogs and all the other things. And I said, look, I'm going to need your help. I need to take this next couple of weeks for my thing. Okay. And he said, sure. How can I help? Because the reality is, you guys, is the people that love us, they want to support us. They want to be there for us. They want to support us. But they can't do that if they don't know what you're trying to do. So had I not told him and just been knee deep in my phone all the time and my computer and hiding out, then it may not have landed so well, because he wouldn't have known what was going on. But I said, hey, I've got, you know, a couple weeks to do this. This is my goal. This is what I'm working towards. Can you help support me in that? So a lot of times I think we get stuck in that place of, well, I have to do all this, and I have to do the laundry, and I have to clean for the house, and I take care of the kids. And, you know, my husband isn't supportive. And I challenge that. And yes, there's going to be cases where people are going to have unsupportive people in their life. That's another topic. But I challenge you to look at what kind of conversations have I actually had around it. And then the next thing I challenge you to do is get some money coming in, because that speaks louder than anything. And let the laundry go, let the organizing the closets go, let the yard work go, because you set that date. Remember, there's a reason we're setting the date, and we're setting that date so that we know what our time parameter is. And if you're looking at a month, just go, hey, family, I love you. This is what I'm working towards. This is why, and it's for us. And I'm going to need some extra help, and the house might seem kind of messy for a while. It's all okay. And then we have to get super intentional with our time, right? I was not taking lunch hours at work. I started to take a lunch hour at work. I went, you know what? Skipping lunch hours does not help build my future. Taking my lunch hour and working my business for an hour is what helps build my future. I started getting up an hour earlier, and y'all don't know me personally, but I am not a morning person. I started getting up an hour earlier against everything in me. I've been resisting that for 4.5 years, and I started staying up later. That wasn't as hard. I stopped having, you know, Netflix TV time. And I just really started to sacrifice and remember, I was working those 12-hour days. And so I really had to get intentional. And you guys, it doesn't take as much time as you might think. And then I consciously stopped scrolling social media. Unless I was intentionally going to people's pages to build connections. We all know the difference. We all know how to trick ourselves as to what those two things are. Going on and getting to know people versus scrolling are two very different things. It is fun to scroll. I like to scroll. I like to watch people's stories, but that wasn't helping me. And with such limited time, I had to pull some things out. One trick I like to do, which y'all may already do, is turn my newsfeed off on my Facebook on my computer, so that when I'm on my computer, I'm not able to see that newsfeed. I have to intentionally go to people's pages and check out what's going on for them. I was really resistant to that for a long time, again, because I'm addicted to the scroll. You know, we actually do get addicted to that motion and the light and the whole thing. So, you know, none of us are too busy. Like, it's just a matter of what we want to make as our priorities. I love that quote. I look at it a lot. I have it up in my office. Like, we really do have more time than we think if we're really intentional with it.
I'm ready to turn this off whenever you're ready to start the show.
Sorry about that. Somebody's unmuted.
So then the next thing is, I recognized that if I was doing the same things over and over, that's the definition of insanity. If I'm doing them over and over, expecting a different result. So shuffling the same deck of people continuously is not going to get you where you want to go. what I started to recognize was that I was inviting people that I considered safe. And when I say safe, I mean,
No, be quiet.
remember those fears we talked about at the beginning and me feeling afraid of being embarrassed or feeling shame or having someone laugh at me? I invited people that I thought wouldn't do those things. Do I have any way of knowing or controlling that? Absolutely not. I invited people that I didn't think would hold my feet to the fire as a leader and as their coach. I didn't invite people that I thought would challenge me because I was too afraid to lead. And I was too afraid that people were going to laugh at me. I am a 40-year-old woman saying I was too afraid for people to laugh at me. It's okay if you feel that way. I stayed safe with my invites. And so when I decided and committed to Diamond, I said, I am going to, we all have those lists, and I know you have the list. And I know there's the people on the list that you're like, oh, I want to invite them so bad, but I just can't. Like, it scares me too much. Invite them. Those are your people. Those are your people. Invite the people that scare you. Those are the people that are going to join. Those are the people that are going to hold you up to a standard as a leader and as a coach and a quality that we promise people when we're inviting them. Those were the people I invited. Those were the people that signed up. And sure enough, you guys, I just figured out how to lead them. We can't learn how to lead if we don't have the people to lead. Okay? And I mentioned at the beginning of my speech, or my speech, I mean, I guess it probably feels a little speechish. I will tell you guys, I rewatched one of these that I did, and I was like, oh my God, I am intense. Like, I need to smile a little bit more. Like, I was just like, oh, so I hope I haven't been too intense for you guys. I'm very passionate. I'm a Sagittarius. I get very, very passionate when I'm talking. But I, drop the rock is actually another AA term. And, you know, we walk around every day with these huge rocks and boulders of fear and self-doubt and negative thinking and comparing ourselves to other people and self-pity. And there comes a point where we just have to drop it. Like, we got to drop it. We got to let go of the rock, stand up on top of it, and go, I am not letting this stuff run me anymore. And like I said, there isn't a book. Yes, books are great, podcasts are great. There isn't going to be necessarily that one thing that you read or see or hear that makes that change for you. It's just going, enough is enough. How many times do we help people and it's like they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? We have to come to a point where we're sick and tired of carrying this baggage around and these boulders of stuff that is not serving us. And so I encourage you over the next week, as you look at some of these fears and reflect back, also look at, what can I drop? Like, what can I let go of? Or at least try to let go of or start to be aware of. And use that as to propel you forward into becoming a diamond coach or diamond again. Diamond is not hard, you guys, but it's like climbing a mountain. You're not going to recognize how actually simple it is until you get there and you've climbed that mountain and it's grueling and it's hard. And then you get to the top and you look down and you go, oh my gosh, now that I'm up here, that wasn't so bad. And then it's just, this is a business of duplication. And then we're duplicating that and duplicating that. If you make a commitment to yourself to do 10 invites a day, do the 10 invites a day. Hold your feet to the fire. It is the only way that you are going to start to boost your self-esteem up in a way that you really trust yourself. It's the same way we show up for our workouts. We show up for our workouts, and each time we show up, especially when we don't want to, which is frequent for me, we trust ourselves a little bit more, right? Focus on your goal. Find that goal, set the date, speak it to your coach, speak it to your bestie on your team, speak it to your family, get them on board with you, get their support, get them behind you. And don't look any other direction. Put your blinders on like a horse wears, a racehorse. Put your blinders on. Don't look over at this girl and see what she's doing. Don't look at that guy and see what he's doing. Don't compare your businesses. Stop scrolling on social media. Stop following the top coaches' stories and looking at their lifestyle because you're not there yet. Like, focus on you and stop looking in other directions. Set that goal, go for it. The worst case scenario, you guys, is that you don't hit the goal. But I can guarantee you, if you're headed towards something, you're going to end up somewhere different than you are right now. So you may not hit what you're trying to hit right when you say. My guess is if you're on this call, you probably will and you probably can. But even if you don't, you're going to land somewhere further ahead than where you're at right now. And my hope is that something in this tonight spoke to you and motivated you or inspired you to shift something that's holding you back from this incredible opportunity, because that's what it is. Don't be me. Don't be Steph. Don't wait for 4.5 years. You don't need to. Go now. Start now. The time is now. You're already here. The hard part is you already committed. So now you just get to go. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Girlfriend, girl, you just brought it. Thank you so much. I have notes. I took notes. And some of my major takeaways, and you guys, if you have questions, put them in the chat. If you have questions for Stephany specifically. But some of my key takeaways, one, I love the tagline, don't be Stephany, even though we should be like you, right? But I get it, like waiting that time, you're like, man, if I just would have had this mindset 4 years ago, I would be a 15-star diamond and I wouldn't be here regretting that time that I missed. But you know, I always feel like timing is meant to be, and it teaches us lessons that we wouldn't have had otherwise. And it allows us to reteach other people like you were doing for us tonight. So thank you for that. I've had that exact same thought of, I know this stuff, like thinking of hitting Superstar Diamond as a team. I know how to hit Superstar. I know I can. But you know what happens? Fear of failure. Like, I don't want to speak it out to the team because I'm afraid I'm going to fail, right? And even though we did a Superstar push and we didn't get there, I'm like, nope, I'm not fearing that anymore. We're going to keep pushing forward and it's going to happen this year. I love the accountability. I think it's so crucial to have that bestie on the team who's, you said, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I want to do. This is my goal. Hold me accountable. Call me, text me, make sure I'm sticking with it. That is, if you don't have an accountability buddy, find one, because that's really, really, it's really helpful. The family buy-in. I say this during Team Cup with my Team Cups all the time. I'm like, Team Cup is a month, right? Where we're just being really intense for a month. So we can't always live our life that intense, but that Team Cup time is our intense time. And I always told you, actually in the very beginning of our team, I was always in the top 10. It was always my goal to be in the top 10 of Team Cup, top 5 once. I think we were number 3 at one point. And with my husband, I'm like, look, we're going to get paper plates and plastic because I'm going all in this month and mommy can't do the dishes right now. So it was just that communication is so key, to make sure that your husband, and you know what, they are money. Like when they see the money, they have the buy-in. I remember the first time I was able to roll over and be like, I just made $630 this week. That was huge. My husband's like, what? Wait, hold on. Hold on. What? And so bringing in, and actually proof is in the pudding, right? Your family, your spouses will definitely be more sold on that one. I love what you said with there is no, well, I don't know if this is how you said it, but this is how I took it. There's no secret sauce. It's like, you got to do to take action. You could watch podcasts, you could watch trainings, you could do trainings till you're blue in the face, but it's the action that builds this business. Yes, do you need encouragement and feeding your brain good quality stuff so that you are able to go out fearlessly and invite and talk to people and not worry about what they think of you and actually be bold, right? But there's nothing you're going to read, do, no training that's ever going to get you successful. It is literally just taking action. And oh my gosh, I've even put OMG blinders. I can't tell you how many times I have let watching other people's journeys trip me up and go, yeah, I'm just not that good. I mean, Megan E. Walson's freaking reels are ridiculous. I can't do that. I'm not going to ever be good at it because I'm not that good and I don't want to be a wannabe. So no, Jatana, put your blinders on, be you, do you. And the people that are meant to love you and are meant to be on your team will love your reels as bad as they are right now, and will put up with it watching it, but you'll get better at it instead of worrying about being just like somebody else or worrying about being as good as somebody else. Or if somebody hits emerald before you hit emerald, or somebody hits diamond before you hit diamond, you're like, oh crap, she signed up after me and she's already emerald. Don't worry about that. Put your blinders on and take massive action. So, all right, let's see what y'all are like. Tina, we listen to you all the time. Can we please do some questions? Melinda said, it is like you were in my head this week, Stephany. I have been doing all these things, making my action plan. So she's making an action plan now. Stephany or Sarah.
And let me touch on that really quick too. I made an action plan for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And I'm not teasing you, Melinda. Like I get it. Yes, we do need to have a plan, 100%. But just always pay attention to how long are we spending on the action plan? Because if we don't get the action behind it, just like it's like that Tony Robbins quote, right? If we don't get the action behind it, then it's just a plan. It's just in paper. But yeah, you do have to have a plan. And I'm glad I was in your head. We have ESP. We didn't even know.
Go ahead, Mama Bear. Unmute your line. It's okay. I call her Mama Bear, right? If you don't know.
Yeah, I've been doing all those things. I've been scrolling to see how to do reels, to see, what I should do. I have a bunch saved. Oh, I want to copy that one. Or I'm like, I've planned. I'm like, I was even talking to my success partner today and I'm like, okay, I need to like make a plan for what reels I can make on the weekend because there's no way I'm getting it done during the week. And so it's like, I have all this. And then now there's Clubhouse and I'm like, okay, I got to figure out how to get on a Clubhouse and I got to make my plan for that. And I just listened to a thing and about that. And he's like, you need to do it in the next 24 hours. You need to do it in the next 24 hours. And I was like, well, I'm working. And I immediately launched into excuses of why I couldn't jump in and just do it in the last 24 hours. However, I will pat myself on the back. Last week, I had like this brainchild idea of doing a Transformation Tuesday, going back to going live on Facebook. And I did my coaching story. And for now, the next however many Tuesdays, I'm going to interview a coach. And I started with Rin this week and I really had no idea what I was doing. Like when I did it, I literally was sitting in my car at lunch and said, I'm just going to do this. And so I did it. And then Rin, we kind of fumbled through And I'm just gonna, I think that's what I need to do. And I laugh at your whole 4 years because I've been a coach. This is my 5th year. I'm exactly your story. It's not that I've not been seeing there. I've been diamond for a while. So I hit diamond, but I do have a goal because it's going to drive me nuts if I go to summit diamond again, because I've gone the last 2 summits, I've been diamond. So I'm like, that's it. I got to start making these forward steps. So those are my goals, is I at least need to be 2-star at least, but I'm shooting for 5. And, but it's that action stuff that really just stops me, because then when I want to take action, I do start looking around to see what everybody else is doing instead of just doing me. So that's exactly what I've been doing this week. I've been scrolling. I was lost in the scroll. I haven't sent invites. I just got lost. So I was like, as you're talking, I'm like, So when I said action plan, I just meant I'm going to take action. That's what I should have said. So anyway, just to encourage everybody, stop looking around.
Love it.
Well, and I think too, like, you know, I think that the social media piece can get really interesting, you know, especially like, you know, like, I mean, I do think that like figuring reels out is something that's like super beneficial just for algorithm reasons and stuff. But, you know, the reality is that, you know, our business is in our inbox, and getting those people that we're talking to in our inbox is what is going to grow our business. And so, yes, do we want to have a good social media following? Yes. Do we want to be on all the use all the modalities for that? Yes. And sometimes I slow myself back down because I'm like, you know, it makes me laugh. I tell people, I'm like, you know, with new coaches especially, I'm like, we're not going to talk about warm and cold markets and who's this market and who, because I'm like, we don't need to worry about that. Your market's your market. The people you're friends with on your social media are the people you're friends with. Yes, there's new connections that you've made that may not be appropriate for, you're not going to propose on the first date, or maybe some of you do. Everybody has a different, you know, some people are all about cold invites. I personally do it a little bit more where I build a little bit of a rapport first. Sometimes I don't, you know? And so just like always remembering that if I start to get too wrapped up in, oh, I got to start this social media, I got to learn how to do this. And I'm like, what's your inbox look like, Steph? Because if you are still not, like, if you have your inbox memorized, like you don't need to be tracking it because you have that little of combos going on, that's probably where the focus has to be. So I meant to say that in there. So is there any other questions?
I concur with you, girlfriend. I tell my team, I don't think I've said this in a long time, but I built the 10-star on my Facebook, no IG, just connecting with people that my circle of friends, people in my neighborhood, and it built an incredible business with, I don't know, maybe 700 to 1,000 friends on Facebook. So you don't need all the glitz and glams and all the new toys. It's fun and it's good business practice to stay ahead of the game a little bit. But what Stephany said right there is key. It's what's in your inbox is really what's going to build this business. So thank you for reiterating that. Any other questions? Because it is going on 10 o'clock at night on the East Coast, and some of us get up early and work out on Zoom. Some of us. I need to be better about that. Any other questions? Awesome. Stephany, thank you so much for pouring your heart out into us. We appreciate it. We feel ready to take on the world tomorrow. We are going to crush it. We're going to crush our workouts. We're going to do our power hours. And you guys have a wonderful night, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you, Stephany.
Thank you all for having me.
Absolutely. Bye, girl.